What's up, Notjust developers? Welcome back to another live stream. Today is Friday, and today is the 5th day and the last day of the first project from Notjust Hack. So it was a lot of last things there. But what's happening? During December, we are organizing a 1-month-long hackathon called Notjust Hack. And this is a hackathon for mobile developers where you can also participate. It's happening from December 1st to December 31st, so there is still time to start building and participating in the hackathon, even if you are watching this video later. If it's still December, there is still time. All you have to do is build an application and launch it to the market, to App Store or Play Store, and submit it to the hackathon by the 31st December. Then you have a chance to win some of our amazing prizes, and more information about the hackathon you can find at notjusthack.com. While you're there, make sure to sign up to receive the updates. And during this process, my personal plan is to build 4 applications in 4 weeks and share this progress daily during the streams. You don't have to build 4 applications. This is just my personal challenge. I wanted to see if that is possible. And today, if you are interested in following my personal journey, make sure to subscribe to our channel. That would help us a lot. Today, we are approaching the last day. This is the 5th day, which means this is the end of the first application out of 4. For the first application, after some keyword research, we decided to build a simple invoice generator, and here we have it. The invoice generator allows you to generate invoices, select contacts, and then add items, and then this is going to be put into a PDF that you can share over email, or even print it or save it as a PDF. Yesterday we added additional features like saving information about your business that is going to be used for the invoices, saving information about people who you are usually working with. From here you can start an invoice easily, and also being able to search contacts, and also being able to see previous invoices. So that is what, it was not shared fully, but you get the idea. So that is what we have at the moment, and today, because it's the last day, I already submitted the application to review. As a quick update, I already received a rejection, and I was thinking this is a very simple application. I hope it's going to pass through the first time. It doesn't need any internet connection, any data, and so on. It's quite simple. And I was wrong, because I received a rejection, and the rejection was saying, let me share this with you for everyone to learn about it. I was referencing the word free or discounted in the title. So the app subtitle included reference to the price of application service provider, which is not considered an appropriate part of these metadata items. So in my app information here in subtitle, I had free PDF, free invoice maker. Now I deleted that. I said simple PDF invoice maker to go. I don't know, still figuring out this keyword research game. But I changed that. I submitted for review. The good thing is that it took I submitted it yesterday in the evening, and today in the morning I already had the rejection. So it was quite fast. Now it's Friday. I'm not sure what's going to happen, so we are going to have to see. Hopefully, maybe even during this stream, we're going to get the application approved. I really wish that was going to happen, but let's see. So that is my progress. And before we start working on the new features for today, I just wanted to remind you that previous week we launched our newest mastery course, the React Native Mastery, that has the goal of teaching you the tech stack behind the top applications out there. And here I'm talking about React Native, Expo with Expo Router, TypeScript, Just for global state management, Tanstack Query for fetching and caching data, reanimated gesture handler to handle gesture-based animations. And these are just some of the main libraries that you'll learn. In fact, you'll learn a lot more than this, and you do that by building 7 different projects. I strongly believe in project-based learning, and that's exactly why I decided to structure this course into multiple projects that you can build and learn meanwhile. We already have more. I think this number grows every single day because we have every single day new students. So I think it's even more than that now. And you can join as well at notjust.dev/React Native Mastery. During December, we are running a campaign and we have a discount code that drops by 1 every single day. Today, the discount is 16% with this code. So if you go to notjust.dev/React Native Mastery, you can grab it here. And yeah, if you wanted to join, make sure to do it now because tomorrow is going to be already 15. And like this until it gets to 0. Okay, so hello everyone who is joining me live. How are you doing, guys? How is your process going? At what stage are you with the project? Do you have an idea? Did you start already working on it? Do you have a working prototype? Are you ready to submit it? Because my advice is to get started with the submission process as fast as possible. Take as an example what I did. Like the application that I submitted for production didn't even have like these contacts or invoices. It was just one single page. It didn't have even a bottom tab navigation. So it was just about sending an invoice. That's it. Or not sending, but generating an invoice. I was talking about this one. And after that, you can add features. So it's easier. Like the next one is going to be easier, but keep it simple for the first submission. If you have time, can you show the Expo live update once the application is submitted? We could trust that, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the only thing is that now on test flight, I'm going to install it for test flight. Let me see which one is on test flight. But anyway, I've done a lot of changes yesterday, so yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can cover that. But I did already that. I tested it, and it is as simple as running EAS update. And here we provide the channel. Channel production, if you look into the EAS JSON, channel production is linked to the production build. Channel preview is going to be linked to the internal builds, and channel development is going to link to the development builds. So you specify the channel towards which build you want to send this over-the-air update. HA developer. I have my first build on Play Store internal testing and test flight. Amazing. That's awesome. Let me know if you'd like me to have a look at the application. And what's stopping you for already starting the submitting to App Store? Hello, Hugo. Hello, Rogelio. Thank you very much. Do I need to complete any additional steps after the registration on the hackathon? At the moment, no. If you sign up with your email, we're gonna send you more details and a link how you can submit your project once you've built it. But that's not yet open, so the submissions are not yet open. We're gonna open it in the following weeks. How to upload on Play Store, and also what we have to submit you on email. To upload to Play Store, you can look at some of my resources that we have on the channel. 1 second. I think under videos here, there should be submit and search for submit. And you can see the mastering AES build submit update in React Native. That is previous Devember series. We have this video how to publish Expo React Native application to Google Play Store. This is Lucas. Lucas has done this project, this tutorial, and it's great like to help you do that. So check out this one. By the way, actually, Lucas is coming to visit me right after this live stream. Who remembers Lucas from here? And let me also give you this one. And about submitting the application to the hackathon, to participate in the hackathon, as I said, this is not ready yet. We're gonna send you more information where you can do that. Probably starting with the next week, we're gonna open the submissions. And it's going to be all the way until 31st December. Hugo remembers him, nice. Which is next application? Anything related to the AI thing? Still don't know. Like I have an application idea, which I'd really love to build next, but it's a little bit complicated, and both technically it's complicated, but also it doesn't follow some of my personal rules. So if you remember at the beginning, I set some rules for myself. Where is it? Of what applications to build and which applications to avoid. Let's do build this, avoid this. So I'm talking here about like the critical mass, and the application that I'm thinking of building one day, I'm not sure when, it's a language exchange application that would allow users to practice their speaking by talking with native speakers, by talking with other people maybe that are learning the language. It would solve a problem that I faced by trying to learn Spanish, and I do that with Duolingo, and it's very, very ineffective. Like I have 950 days already on Duolingo, the streak, and I barely know anything in Spanish. Like maybe I know words, but when it comes to speaking, like it's a challenge. And I know that the best way to learn to speak a language is by actually practicing it and following the same advice as I do like with learning how to code. You do that by actually doing it, by actually practicing. So yeah, I was thinking about like an application that would allow you to have something like a chat roulette. Do you know chat roulette? Which is like random video calls with people on the internet. But this one would be with a goal of learning and exchanging language experience. So maybe it would give you some conversation starters or some mini games, like word mini games, or name this and show you pictures depending on what level you are. And then you go like and discuss about this with someone. So that's the application. I would really love to do that, but yeah, it's a bit challenging to build. It involves like voice calling and stuff like that. We could use Stream for that. And at the same time, like to launch something like this, you need a critical mass, because if a user goes into the application, tries to have a video chat with someone, and there is nobody else there is no point in the application. So I'm thinking like, how would we solve this initial problem when there is not enough users? Because if the application would grow and there would be always at least like, I don't know, 100 people online at any point in time, it would be easy. Like you wouldn't wait for too long. You'd make so that the calls couldn't last for too long, maybe just 3 minutes, a quick conversation and so on. And then like switch between users. But initially, like it's a challenge. Like Clubhouse. Not sure if like Clubhouse. It would be more, yeah, like chat roulette specifically for language learners. You build one that follows the rules, now break them and then compare the results, right? That's very tempting. Like maybe. Yeah, and it's the second week I'm still quite energized. Maybe the last weeks is going to be tougher, but during the second week I think I could do that. I could pull it off, and it would be nice to have like an application with this complexity built in 1 week. Can it even be done? Google Play requires to run a closed-up test with at least 20 testers for at least 14 days before publishing an app. How should we tackle the deadline by then? I'd encourage you to get started as soon as possible and submit the application as soon as possible. You, like with 14 days, you still have a bit of time, but not a lot. So get started as soon as possible with this process and use this community for your advantage. Go ahead on Discord, join our Discord and help each other. Post your link and ask other people participating to help you to review to join as a tester, and do the same for others. Like, go ahead and take advantage of this hackathon for following these rules of having to have 20 testers, because after the hackathon is over, maybe it's going to be harder to find like these early 20 testers. Now we have a community. There are other developers that are in the same position as you, and go ahead to help each other. That's one of the best things that can happen, like in a hackathon, to help each other. I want to build an app where it tracks the car's current location like Uber and Lyft. What's your advice? My advice for what? What exactly? Like technically how to do it, or if it's a good idea, or what? Google, okay. Duolingo and other apps are too formal. We don't teach conversation. Yeah, the Duolingo, it's in general, it's a game. Like, it's just a social game that allows people to brag about and say that, yeah, I'm learning a language. Look at my streak. And I fell into the same trap. Like, I've been on the streak for almost 1,000 days, but it's not about learning a language, definitely. Can't wait for the next application. This app coming out so good. Initially, I thought it's so simple app, but it's coming out so good. Which one? The Invoice Generator, you mean? Let's continue working on it today then. So, what are we going to work on today? My goal for today is to continue working on making it easier to generate invoices, because at the same, like, the main goal of the project is to generate invoices, and I want to improve it, like to make it as easy as possible, but at the same time focus around one feature. I don't want to add additional features, at least for now. Now I just want to make sure that we are making it as easy as possible to generate invoices. What React Native library should I use for tracking the current location of the cars? I would use Expo, how is it called? Expo location, the Expo location library. Gives you access to reading the geolocation information, polling current location, or subscribing location updates for the device. So using this on the device, you can get its location. If you want to track the device location, if you want to track car's location from a device, I think like in that case, you need like a tracker or something like that, and that's a completely different scenario. Hello, Robert, how are you doing? So let's go back to my page here, and let's think the application Invoice Generator. Let's give it an icon. So for the MVP, we are good. I'm going to clean up some of these subtasks and let like contact list is good for now. ask for feedback. I still have to test this one. Number input. Hopefully on the device it's better because it has a keyboard. Multi-page invoice, not like huge problem. Sentry, I think I tested it. It was even working better than I expected because I was receiving a lot of crashes from the development. And what I did is in layout, in Sentry, I disable it if we're running in dev mode. We'll do that. This one is cool, auto-incrementing invoice numbers. This is following the rule of making it easier to generate invoices. This one, I feel like it's an additional feature. It's not making it easier because if you are a person working in USD, like you don't need this one. So it's only like expanding, but this is improving. This is expansion, this is improvement. So I think I'm going to think about working on this auto-increment invoice numbers. Saving invoice history. Think we have something here from yesterday. Still things to do. Still things to do in progress. And another thing that I want to do on this generate an invoice, add all necessary fields for the invoice. Because now that we have the whole process of an invoice, I took some shortcuts in the fields that I'm using, but at this moment I think we are at the right place to add all of them that are needed. For example, I don't know, notes, terms, description for items, maybe, I don't know, things like that. HA developer is saying, when you are coming up with app ideas, do you think of how they can be abused? I always think of all the worst ways my app could be used, and it leads me to rein in the features more. No, I don't think about that. I try to follow the happy path and to only solve problems as they appear. Because in a lot of cases, like if we overthink like what could go wrong, we would never launch anything. We would always stay in our lab and trying to think and invent problems for ourselves. And the truth is that the human brain is designed to find problems. So if you feed on that, if you feed it to continue thinking about problems, you'll never get out like of your laboratory. Like you're always going to be in that mode of, okay, what if that happens? Let me think about that. Instead, go ahead, launch that application, and you will find to realize that 99% of the problems were just in your head and they never come to realize. And the ones that do actually happen, there is always a possibility to go and fix them as they happen or after they happen. So think about maybe have them in mind, but think about like, can this be reverted? Can it be fixed later? Or what's going to be the impact? Because yeah, like if you are doing some shady stuff that could get you in jail, well, maybe that's going to be a bit like harder to fix it later. But if a problem means that, yeah, I feel one common problem that developers think too early about maybe is about performance and scalability. Will my project scale to 1 million users without having even 10 users? So my recommendation is go ahead, have the first 10 users, have the first 100 users, and try your best to get into that problem where your project is not scalable. Because at that point, you are in a good position and you can change stuff as you go. Like the worst thing that can happen is your project is going to be down for a couple of days until you fix something. Fine, it's better than not even giving a chance, not even giving a try. So yeah, don't overthink on the problems. Vadim abuses ideas himself. Is there a link to the GitHub repo? No, this project that I'm building during December, they are going to be closed source because my goal is to build actually projects that I can monetize. So I'm not going to open source them. This December during the daily streams, it's a little bit different than what we usually do on the channel. Usually we do educational tutorials, and for educational tutorials, I always give you the source code. But they are different. Like educational tutorials are prepared. I explain everything, like every single line of code that I do. Here, it's more about documenting my journey of building 4 products for the market. There is a ton of things that you can learn from following my journey, from seeing what it actually takes to build a project from idea to market. You'll see the whole process starting from idea generation to looking for keywords, tools, to designing the logo and building the application, submitting to market, going through some challenges and so on. But yeah, the thing is that I'm not sharing the source code. HA developer is saying thanks. I really appreciate the input. I definitely overthink all those things. Yeah. There is a saying, I think, let's cross the bridge when we get to it. So first get to the bridge, get to the problem, and then figure out how you're going to solve it. What are you using for backend here? Superbase. That's another thing that following back, like what I was saying in the, a little bit earlier. I'm not using any backend here. I took the easy route. I said like, do you need a backend to generate invoices? No, you need some data and you need to output a PDF. And for that, you don't need a backend. And I don't have a backend. Can this lead to problems? Yes, this can lead to problems because maybe there will be a power user using this application for a year. By accident, he was going to delete the application from his phone, or he will change his device, he will buy a new phone, and all of a sudden he loses access to all his previous invoices. Oh no, I cannot launch this application. I need to add a backend and to store the application in cloud. That's what you'd think, but no, I can do this. I can launch something. I can see if the application is even going to be used by anyone. If anyone is going to use it for 1 year, I'm going to be happy. And at that point, I'm going to see like, is this an actual problem? How many of my users is going to affect? Does it make sense to overcomplicate the project by adding like backend and so on, just for accomplishing and fixing this problem? So if the answer is yeah, it makes sense, at that point I'm going to add, and at that point I'm going to change some things. Yeah, it might be a bit harder to redesign the architecture from using everything locally to using the cloud, but it will give me possibility to move fast and to test things, which is much more important for indie developers, for a startup. It will be in his email sent to inbox or something anyway. Yeah. If you're asking about how to submit the application, we're going to prepare it. The submission link is going to be ready hopefully next week, and we are going to let you know about that. So if you are signed up on notjusthack.com newsletter, or if you are signed up here, then you are going to receive information about how to submit it. So today it's getting a lot of into questions, but I like that. Let's see, because usually during my usual streams, like when I do education, like I don't have a lot of chances to interact with the audience because I want to deliver good content like fast. So now is the time. Hey, what library should I use for open map? WebView is not intuitive. Google and Apple are getting very greedy when it comes to map. Greedy in what terms? Another mapping library that I used and I kind of loved was recently on our channel. If you go to the Lime clone, this project is using Mapbox. You could check that one. It's very like flexible, and you can extend it. Like it's very powerful. Like Mapbox is super powerful. It's not free, of course, like it's paid, but I managed to build, like, as you can see, this application in with Mapbox, who can also do directions and so on. So check out this one. I might also send you a link for the Mapbox tutorial. Okay, guys, so let's get to work, right? So I have a feature that is not finished, which is the history of the invoices, because we just see them, but we cannot do anything about them. And there is that feature of auto-generating invoice numbers. And the auto-generating invoice numbers might seem like a easy way to do it. Might seem. So from these two features, I would like to finish the feature of viewing past invoices, but viewing past invoices doesn't give a lot of value in my opinion, because again, my main feature is generating invoices. So I'd rather work on auto-generating invoice numbers to make it easier to generate invoices. And I just added the history of invoices just for the data, so that I know what was the last invoice number to generate this invoice, auto-generate the invoice numbers. The question is, it's not that simple to auto-generate invoice numbers. Auto invoice numbers. Because invoice like this. Because if invoice numbers were numerical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, perfect. I could auto increment it by just simply looking what was the number for the last invoice. But usually that's not the usual format. For example, personally, the invoices that we send, we follow this format. It's, for example, 1/2024, 2/2024, 3/2024. And in this case, the incrementation is happening on the 1, and this is a year. So in 2025, this is going to change. The problem I get, like, with my invoice generating tool is that when I start a new one, it looks at this number, it gets rid of everything at the beginning, and it says, okay, the next one is 3/2025. And if I'm not attentive enough to look at it and to update it to 4 and 4, I have a mistake. So that's why it's not very easy. Other formats I saw was using customer numbers as well. For example, customer 1, invoice 1, customer 2, or customer 1, invoice 2, customer 2, invoice 3, or maybe invoice 1. I don't know. I think it should be auto incremented. It should be incrementally, like at least some parts of it. So as you see, like, it's not very easy to do that. Maybe I can look at one of invoices to see this, to see some other patterns. Anyone has experience with this? Let me know. I'd be interested to know, like, if you're sending invoices, how do you numerate? How do you number them? One second, what I'm looking for I cannot find, so let me check here. I'm going to add some data here, some examples, and then we can look at it together and figure out how to do it. So for example, frame.io is doing something like this. This is one. Then another one is, I'm not sure if this is like, if I should share this kind of stuff, but cannot find it. Come on. This was a bit earlier. So this is probably my customer number, and this is my invoice number, I guess. Yeah. Sounds like you chose a build system yourself. I don't know. What is the topic for today's live stream? Today we are working on some additional features on an invoice generation tool or application. And now I'm figuring out how to auto increment invoice numbers. Let's see what ChatGPT is saying. When it comes to invoice numbers, what are the most common patterns, or how to call, or formats? Sequential number 01, 02, 03. Date-based format. Y, MMDD, and then 01. If I let the users choose a format like this, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Like maybe I should allow them to type in a format like YYY for the year. Combine the date the invoice was issued with a sequential number. Example. Best or issue multiple invoices a day. And do you start the number from 0 every single day? Client-specific format, client code and 001. Description includes a unique client identifier and a sequential number for invoices. Okay. Yeah, so this is per client. With repeat clients. Make it easy to identify which client an invoice belongs to. Year-based formats. Y01. I'm using kind of like this, but it's a bit different for me. Description combines the year with a sequential number. So that's why this feature is so complicated. It sounds trivial, but damn. Join between meetings. I am at work. Hello from Dubai. Hello, Faisal. How are you doing? Dev code. Hi, Vadim. Can you help guide me on how to achieve a navigation like from splash screen to welcome screen to either login or sign up screen when a user is authenticated, it continues to tab nav. For authentication, you'd put different tabs here in your application, such as these tabs, or maybe you're gonna have here a group for off, and then a group for home, or like after like they are authenticated. So let's do home, right? Not even home, but yeah. And in the off, you're gonna have a layout that would protect screens from this authentication to not allow authenticated users to get here. So what you will do, maybe you're gonna have this off as a stack screen, but it depends if you're using Expo Router. And here you're gonna take if user is authenticated, you're gonna take it from somewhere, from a context, from global state, from like I don't know where you're taking it, and you're simply going to do if is not authenticated, then you're going to return a redirect with href /home. And now what you did here is like this. This is called guarding in the layout. By returning a redirect, you are guarding all the screens that you'll have here. For example, you're going to have here a login, a forget, and so on. So if you're on login screen and all of a sudden this variable becomes true, I mean, if it's authenticated, you should redirect home. And you do the same thing in a layout in the home. But in that case, you're gonna do, if it's not authenticated, redirect to off screen. So that's how you navigate, like should it be on the authentication or not. Then you're gonna have another one for onboarding, which is going to be open to anyone without any guarding. And from index, you're gonna check like, look, the way I'm checking it, I'm looking at the data and I'm checking if onboarding is complete. If it's not complete, from the index, I'm redirecting to onboarding screens. If it's complete, I'm taking them directly to the tabs. And in your case, the tabs could be the ones who will decide, like, are they allowed here or not? So in a very, very short amount of time, that's how I would explain it. Let me move it. Make some distance between microphone. Sorry for that. Private and protected, yeah. Protected. Guys, so what are we going to do with these formats? Like if it's sequential, like let's get started and then we're gonna figure out all the complexities. So let me check here, git status. Okay, think git diff. What are we doing here? Okay. So when we create a new invoice here, where? In the store. When we start a new invoice, there is This date and due date should go here. And let's do invoice number. Generate invoice number. Let's start by implementing it somewhere in the utils. Invoice, let's do here export const generate invoice number. AI decided that it's going to be like this. What we know is that the number is called invoice number, but it's actually a string. So I'm going to return like this. Let's go ahead and import it at the top and go here in the new invoice, and we see that it generated this invoice number. Good, but we don't want just to generate that one. What we want is we need the invoice history. So invoices equal use store get state invoices. Last invoice number could be that one. Last invoice number int, we could try something like that. I'm not sure what it's doing here. And the next one, it says like this. What it will do, new invoice inv none. Okay. Because what? Console log. Last invoice number is 1 here. Why are you doing that? So now if I do new invoice, it's going to be 2. Invoice 2 generated, back home. If we look, it's going to be 2. Then we do new invoice. It's going to be still 2 because I am looking at the last here. Which in fact should be what? The invoice with the last date, right? Hello, the AfriCoder. So I'm going to look at the most recent invoice based on the date on the invoice, because I think that's the most important part, like the date on the invoice. So get the most recent invoice based on date. Why would you sort them? That's so inefficient, but without sorting. Reduce, yeah, that's better. So, last invoice. Get last invoice. Maybe there I'm going to do this. Reduce your expectations. If okay, latest, we'll start with null. If there is no latest, we take the current. However, if there is no latest, let's do latest.date like this. Okay, so last invoice, let's go ahead and do get last invoice. Or 0, and we're going to do that. Okay, now if I'm going to do new invoice, it's gonna be free. Okay. And if I do new invoice, still free. Why? Is it because of a date? It's still free? Yep. I believe because of a date. Because the date is the same here as well with the ID 2, 6/12. And I don't think it has year or something like that, or the time. One second, I'm gonna open the door for some air. Should I add a created at timestamp and work on that? But I'm thinking created at timestamp. The last invoice, based on the invoice number, might not be the last one that you generated. Because where do we get the date there from? Let's see. We get it from... Can I look here where in the application tabs invoices? I would like to see like this. Friday, December, 1558. Even this one? Yeah. Why then it's not taking this one as the last one? if I reload the application and try a new invoice now, it's still free. Because what? Maybe I don't need to transform anything here because there are already dates. Current date is more than the latest date. Free. New invoice, last invoice is the one 1757, which here is something with 57. It's this, no, it's this one. Zero 0105. It's even 05? Why not 06? I am incrementing the number, yes. The problem is how it takes the invoice. Invoices, reduce invoice date, invoice date. If latest, take current, or if current dot date is more, latest dot date, take current. And the last invoice takes it 0501. What year is 2020? Oh, it's 2025. Sorry, guys. That was a problem. It was 2025. Yeah, here the invoice. Let me actually also sort them by the date here. I think that would make sense to sort invoices by date, because that's one of the rules in how's it called, in taxes. Should invoices be sorted by invoice number or date? In fact, like, it should be both. Like, the invoice number and date should be following the same order. Let's go ahead in our utils invoices. In our store, I think we're gonna do that in our page tabs invoices. Here, when we take invoices, we are going to do dot sort and this one is at the top, 2025. Beta's giving me headaches. Good. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on a feature to remove an invoice. I need it like for now to remove it, and I could do it like manually, or I can build a feature which is going to be super easy to do. All I have to do is in our application tabs, invoices, I need to add here a context menu. And I already have context menus, for example, for contacts. I need the same, so invoices, not contacts, index. I have here context menu trigger. This is the first part. Tabs, invoices. I'll put it here. I'll close the trigger at the end, and the trigger is the part that will trigger the menu when long pressed. Let's import them at the top. And let's also bring this menu that we have here, menu content, at the bottom. What did I do? Oh, this is a flat list. Okay. So in the root here, let's bring it like this. And what do we have? Edit. I don't think we need edit at the moment. So the context item, this one, I'm going to do that. And for delete, I'm going to have delete invoice ID. Do we have invoice ID? I think that's another thing that we need to do because we don't have invoice IDs. So that means that in our store index, we're going to have delete invoice ID. Do our invoices have? Yeah, it has ID. Okay, good. So that means that it's going to work if I here at the top say delete invoice. So if I go here and for this one for 2025. Oh, you see, I'm gonna fix this issue because it highlights the space at the bottom, which I don't want. And that is happening because this one has margin bottom 4. It handles the spacings between items with margin. Instead of doing that, it's better to handle it with gap on the flat list property by adding here something class name, content container class name gap 2. Yeah. Now, if I hover over it, okay, it highlights correctly, and I can press delete, and nothing happens. Delete invoices, filter, where it's not equal to this ID. What's happening? No, it doesn't get here. Delete invoice Delete on click, delete invoice ID. It's item. It's item. But I want it to be invoice and not get confused. So let's change everything to invoice here. Render item. We are going to do here item, render item, invoice item. Okay, now if I go here and delete this invoice, it disappeared. But what else I'm going to do as I'm here, I'm going to make this an animated. But the animation shouldn't be from React Native, it should be from React Reanimated. And what we were doing with our lists, for example, with contacts, we were giving here item layout animation. And just by giving this one, our deletes will be much smoother because they will be animated. When I delete something, things will move up. They are not just gonna be replaced. So I can go ahead and delete some of the invoices that I no longer need. Another thing I'm going to add here as a to-do in the delete invoice that I'll need to make sure later to do, which now I don't even track it, is to delete the PDF file as well. Now I don't track the PDF file, I don't link it to the invoice, which I should, I'm gonna do it in a second. And when deleting an invoice, it would be smart to also delete the PDF file that we stored, not only the data. Perfect. Now, if I go back here and do new invoice, it's invoice number 4. Generate invoice. Perfect. And if I do number 5, good. Back home, if I do a new one, it's going to be number 6. Good. Look, now, like if you have a right property set, like I don't even need to input any data. I just select things, which it's making the application way easier to implement. I wanted to do, okay, let's double check, like when you open the application and do new invoice, number 7. Good. But what happens if, for example, I already start using the application and it's not going to be my first invoice, for example? What if I go here and say, okay, I'm at number 42. Next, create invoice. Back home, I have here 42 at the top. If I do a new one, it's going to be 43. Good, that's exactly what I wanted. Increment the last number that we used. Good, man. I think the animation Loti is good. Would you mind share with us? I found it on lotifiles.com. And here, something like party. Yeah, somewhere here, this one maybe. Yeah, it's actually, or not this one. And now if I put 15, okay, now if I generate an invoice with 15, the next one is going to be probably 16, because based on the date, 15 is the last one, and the next one is going to be based on it. So in most cases, it's kind of going to work. Sometimes you're going to say, oh, it's actually not 15, it's 56. And then it will pick it up. Then the next time when you generate invoice is going to be 57. Okay, good. My stream is laggy. I don't know why. I could try to close stuff down. Hello everyone who is joining us on Twitter. How are you doing, guys? Let me open it up as well to see your comments. And I couldn't find a way to see the live comments on desktop. I only can see them on Twitter, I mean, on mobile application. Is that true? Is it how it's supposed to work? Okay, now I see the live chat on Twitter. So hello everyone who is joining us live from Twitter. Is there duplication prevention? If you create one with 41, it will pick it up with 42, which already exists. Good point. It will do that. Yeah, it will do that. So let's go back here and say auto increment sequential numbers 1, 2, 3. This is done. Avoid duplications. Example, last invoice number 40, auto increment to 41, but 41 already exists. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna handle it. Like, it sounds like an edge case. It's good to know about it. But now I'm going to think about like things like, I don't know, like this with other stuff. Maybe I should give up. What's gonna happen the way I generate invoices? For example, 100/2024. If I do next generate invoice, fail to generate PDF at altogether. Maybe no, yeah, it's there. So what's gonna happen now? In new invoice, it's 101, because it will try to parse this string to a number and it's going to parse it as 100. Kinda, it's already better than what my software is doing, but it needs to keep that to 2024. I'm thinking maybe on the profile, a custom text input saying, hey, invoice number format, and you would put here and I would and you'd write something here. It's not very user friendly. For sequential stuff, you would write, like, let's say, for sequential, you would do, maybe you would say X. For these ones, you would write X / YYYY for year. For this, you would do customer. This one I don't even think I want to support. Customer ID, or maybe like this with curly brackets, customer ID dash X. This is becoming like, it looks like programming, right? This can be achieved like with, maybe you want to do y dash X, and this is going to be, for example, 2024 dash 12, or dash, let's say, the invoice number 55. I found this keyword. Celebration has more awesome animation. Good. Nice. Perfect. What are the tech stack used in this project? I'm using React Native Expo router. That's the main things. For the forms, I use React Hook form. I use TypeScript. I use Zod for validations. I use Zusten for global state management, and that's it. And I persist that Zod schema locally, so that's how I get like this data even after I reload the application. Or should I give an array of options? Like, how do you want it? Do you want it sequential? Do you want, or maybe a multiple choice question? Simple, sequential, year based. Kind of needs to be strict for me to be able to properly parse it and increment the right part. Back to the invoice numbers. I want my app to help to make the invoice generation process as simple as possible. That means to auto generate invoice numbers. How should I approach this, considering that different customers are tracking numbers in different formats? Use drop down and allow them to select. Yeah, I would also say that we need to default to sequential to make it simple and to allow users to get started as soon as possible. Example, sequential number. Allow users to define their preferred numbering format through settings. Provide options for prefix, example, invoice, so project code. Users can define their own prefix or leave it blank. Maybe I should do prefix and suffix for the number. in user just go and have two fields, prefix, suffix, and you write there, for example, whatever you want before and whatever you want after. That's also good. Like you have two fields, prefix and suffix. In this case, you're not going to have anything in the prefix and suffix. Here, you're going to go and say that my suffix is slash, it's this one. And it's going to be on you next year to come to update it. In this case, you're not going to be able to do it because it's a customer variable. I cannot do that. But anything related to dates and so on, it's going to be managed with this suffix and date integration. Add an option to include the year or a full date format. Okay. Sequence number. Automatically increment for each invoice, separate characters. Custom format, prefix, year, sequence. Yeah, I think this is how I'm gonna do something like that with prefix and suffix. Separator, should you choose that or should it be just part of your suffix? Custom format example, prefix, year, sequence, user input env. That's what I'm I would allow that, but in that case it becomes a bit technical. I would give one input and explanation on how you can do it. Like you just write numbers, you do y if you want there to appear and now year, and you do xxx for the sequence. Output. Detect errors in custom. This is also very nice. Like, and maybe this is very nice. And I would initially, it's going to initialize it with xxx. And this is going to be the sequence, the keyword for sequence. If you want y dash xxx, that's going to be the number. That's going to be year and then sequence. If you want a dash in between them, you'd put the dash. If you want something else, you'd put like this, y, 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 y. And I just give some examples maybe and some options to choose from. Invoice number format, okay. Okay, look what we are going to do. I'm going to, maybe I'm getting too deep into this topic. Keep it simple, add custom formats later. Okay, you are saying to keep it simple. Invoice number format. Invoice number format. You're saying to keep it simple, but I'm saying let's keep it simple, but think about like the future. So slowly we're gonna get there. What I want to do is, I think I'm gonna go with this approach. One field for the format with some keywords. And I'm going to try to simplify it to you for users to generate some examples so that they can choose from. But if they need like custom things, they can do it. Instead of doing prefix and suffix. This is going to only be one input with good explanation a bit later. So let's start by going into the store and saying that, hey, we are going to need profile. Let's do a schema for our settings. I don't know, in the store, I'm going to have invoice number format. Let's start with this. Invoice number format is going to be a string. Initially, when you sign up, the invoice number format, no, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be, should I leave a prefix env or just simply xxx? xxx. Let's try like this. Or maybe simple sequential. And it's not going to be in the profile. It's going to be a separate one like this here. Invoice number format xxxx. Now let's go into the tabs. The profile is going to become already a stack. So I'm going to go here under profile. I'm going to move profile into the folder, rename it to index, and generate the underscore layout.tsx and export a stack. Export stack. Come on. Export stack navigator. Good. So that means that if I go now here, maybe I need to reload. If I go here, we have profile and index. One of them should go away. And I think it should be here. I'm going to say that stack.screen name index, the options is title profile. And that means that from this layout where we have profile, the header is header shown false. Now we are here, and in the profile, the invoice number format is going to be a link or a button somewhere. I don't have it like correct here, but it's going to, I don't have like a way to display it properly, but we're gonna figure it out later. For now, I just need add a button for the invoice number format. This is too much, but yeah, configure invoice format. It should take us to invoice format. Build a screen with a form for the invoice number format input field. I know, let's see. If I go there, router doesn't exist. Where here router doesn't exist. Okay, invoice number format. This information will appear on all your invoices at the sender date. Make sure it's accurate and up to date. Configure. Where? What? Where? Here. Okay. So instead of this one, I'm just gonna, there is a component that I built for this kind of stuff. Keyboard avoiding scroll view. Isn't it like this? Come on, components. Keyboard aware. So if I go here, I just need to say edges, none. Okay, so we have invoice configure, how your invoice numbers will be generated. Use X for numbers. Use XXX for numbers. Will generate invoice 001, 002. Again, should I do 001? I don't know. We'll see. And here we have format. We have a form provider, we have form handle submit, and the form takes the invoice number format from the store. Format is required. Okay. So on submit, I need to update it. So let's go here in our store to say set invoice number format. Let's implement it. And let's implement it. Good. Back here, I need to get access to that function. And I need to call it here. For example, if I come here and say change number format to /YYY, save, hopefully it's going to be saved. And when I come back here, it's here. Save. Okay. X. Okay, so we can set these things up. Abhiram, hello. Nice to find out that you found the channel. While you're here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, guys. So if you just recently discovered it, hello, my name is Vadim, and on this channel I do a lot of project-based tutorials for cross-platform mobile applications. I do a lot of React Native, but also full stack with backends, with amazing tools like Supabase and so on. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe for this. All right, so we have this format here. Now it's going to be a challenge to implement a function based on it, to auto-generate numbers. But we're gonna try to use AI as much as possible. But before that, give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a very short break. I come back and we continue. So yeah, I'm gonna be back in a second. Hello. So I am back, but I need some water. Hello. All right. So not very easy. How would you implement the based on the previous invoice number and the number format example XXX or ENV the sequence, increment the sequence. How do you extract the sequence? How to extract the sequence? The last numeric part. But it's not always there. Output 5, 3. One or more digits. Ensure it only matches the digit at the end of a string. An array where the first element is matching the sequence. Example 005. Phew, that's interesting, guys. Yeah, that's going to be a bit tough. Because okay, last invoice number. Extract any static parts of the from the invoice number. Let's say that now we're not handling year. I just want to extract static parts from the invoice number. Having the invoice number format, right? It should be this dot invoice number format. So const static suffix. Static suffix is going to be equal to parts. If parts of 0 is not, oh my god, xxx, then it's parts 0. This was prefix. If parts dot length is more than 0, is more than I don't know, 2. Oh boy, then the static suffix is parts 1. Otherwise it's empty. Now const sequence is going to be equal to last invoice number equal dot replace static prefix, and then also replace static suffix, and then we do it as integer, and then we return the invoice number format dot replace xxx with the last invoice number, and maybe we even pad them. How's it called? Pad. How do we do that? So let's try to add some tests, because here without tests I'm not gonna be able to do it. So how would we approach that? Let's see. Testing. Let's do utils, and I want to test the invoice.test.yes. Do we need to install just here? Hey everyone, Daniel just asked you a question. Can you please answer that? Daniel is asking, do you find the email invitation to the live streams useful or not? Have you received an email invitation and is it helpful? Is it useful for you? Or how did you find out about that we are live today? I don't think we actually need just Expo because here I'm not gonna try to do anything related to Expo. I just want to test a function. But let's follow, let's see. Let's go into package.json and add a new script to test. And now I can go here and say npm. Oh, come on. I'm gonna close some applications. I think it's too much for my computer. Okay, best time to upgrade my ZSH. Expect red to be red. One failed. What? Is it because I don't have describe? What am I missing here? Check out docs. What I don't have here, default extensions. .env. This has to be lasted last in Babel config React Native reanimated, but I don't have React. It's in presets. Wait a second. I think I made a mistake. This should be in plugins, not in presets. That was a rookie mistake. React Native reanimated. Let's double check the documentation to make sure. Get started, install. Yes, it's in plugins. Don't add it here. And I added it there. Okay, bad. Okay, now my tests pass properly. Okay. So what I want to test there is the import generate invoice number. Let's make the generate invoice number not depend on the store itself. Let's do generate invoice number. Here we're gonna do last invoice. Let's do last invoice. And then let's do invoice number format. Now I'm not gonna take it from there. I'm going to work it from here. Last invoice, again, not from here. Get last invoice. I can do here invoices. And I can also export it. Now, when I call this one in the store, for example, generate invoice number, I need to send there I'll do const last invoice and the invoice number format. What happened here? What you don't like? Okay, now it works. Whew, okay, so back in my tests, I'm going to do generate invoice number. And the first one is, okay. It generates a number with a correct next sequential invoice number for format XXX. That means that if I send here const invoice number, generate last invoice number XXX, and I expect the invoice number to be 001 if I use format here. Let's also do here another describe given format XXX, because we are going to test different formats. It works for first invoice. Expected 001 received. What did we receive? We received 000. That means that here in the generate invoice number, I forgot to do +1. Should I do here +1? Cool. Now test fails. Come on. 002, 001. Okay, this one passed. It generated correct. Now it should also work. It works. It increments the invoice number. So if last invoice had the invoice number 001, our expectation is to be 002. Let's do here as invoice. which is not right, but I just need this part of it. Now, 2 out of 2 passes, perfect. And what happens if it increments the invoice number above 4 digits? For example, if last invoice number is 10,000, the next one is going to be 10,001. No, it's not correct. Oh, yeah, sorry. 3 passed. Okay, so with that, I believe that the format XXX works okay. Should I simplify it and put things here? Or I should put const x here. Okay, so it generates them like this. Now, what if the format is going to be given the format suffix dash xxx? So let's do format suffix dash xxx. And we should follow the same procedure here. It works for the first invoice number, generate okay based on this format, and the output should be suffix dash xx001. Here, if the old one is suffix 001, this should be suffix 002. And if it's above 4 digits, I don't think it's needed because we tested it once. I wanted to test it once. I just need these 2 things. Or maybe I can do here a more random number like 41, 42, not to work only with 1 digit. So yes, it works. With suffix, it works. And this is not suffix, this is actually prefix, guys. Prefix. Let's see if prefix and suffix works. It works for the first invoice. Let's go with null here to make it simpler. And here, null. And here, null. So XXX suffix, it works for the first invoice. Invoice number, generate invoice number, null, and format. If I expect it to be 001 suffix. And here, if the previous one was suffix, I expect this one to be suffix. Past. And I also wanted to work with prefix and suffix. works. What will happen if I just want to see what will happen if the previous one does not match with this one. Previous invoice number does not match the format. So what if it's maybe a prefix, then suffix? It's none, not a number. But instead of none, not a number, I would rather get something else. So instead of none, which probably is this one, parse int. If is none, throw invalid invoice number, or I don't know if I want to throw any errors. Should I just try to consider it 0 and expect it to be 1? Like if something didn't work, let's go ahead and do it 001. So if previous one did not match, it's going to just return it as the first one, 001. Sorry to spam, but I'm not able to follow. I'm getting that error. Which error are you getting? So for now, I don't have support for years. I have support for sequential. I have support for prefix and suffix, which means that I can go here, change the invoice and say, hey, I want my invoice. For example, for me, my invoices are padded with the year 2024. I say this one. I go generate the first one. It just gives me 101, 2024. Okay, next. Boom, boom, boom. There is an error generating the invoice. I don't know why, but we'll see. So 101, 2024. I can go and generate a new one. It's 102, 2024. Good. So yeah, the sequence works. If I'm going to decide to drop this number, I can do that. Save. New invoice, it's 103. Somehow it works. Not sure if it's the correct one, but at least, yeah, there is something. Back home. 103. If I do a new one, it's 104. So I think it's not bad so far. Prefix and suffix works. Let me go here in my how to increment sequential numbers works. Prefix, static prefix and suffix works. user input is number format. Okay. Now what I want to do is, why if I have here /2024 save, you don't want to generate the invoice. Generate invoice. Fail to generate PDF. Why is that the case? Where is it failing? PDF error. PDF couldn't be moved to invoice 104 because because I have a slash in the name of the invoice, and slashes in the name cannot be used. It's about here in utils PDF. I'm saying that the invoice/invoice number for the name. Use the invoice number as part of a file name. No, I use it. What are the unsafe? What are the unsafe characters for file names on iOS? Illegal characters are this one, not sure, but don't use it too. Save invoice number, replace. Why are you replacing this? Replace characters from the invoice number that are not safe to be used as file names on iOS. Example is slash, because that is used for directories. Not directories, but yeah, hopefully it's going to. And what it did, I don't know. It replaces the slash. Hopefully both slashes and the dots. And it replaced, let's replace it with dash. Dashing through the snow. And let's use this one here. Now I can do save to file. And it's going to be invoice 104. This character dash 2024. Perfect. Live it. That's another thing that we improved, because if it wouldn't be like that, you wouldn't be able to generate it. Okie dokie. So auto increment invoice numbers. So again, I have it here like this. I still need to work on time-based variables. For example, y, and so on. Maybe client-based variables. Client ID or code or something like that. For invoice number format, I need to basic, it's done, but I need to add some data validation. And I need to improve the UI, suggest something. So for data validation, if I delete this format altogether and I do ABC, there's going to be just the suffix. So in the new invoice, it's just going to be ABC because it doesn't have XXX. So I shouldn't be able to do that altogether. That means that I'm going to go in my application, tabs, profile, invoice format, and I want to say that this schema I think there is custom ways to do ZOT validations. Custom validation or something like this. Refine, right? ZOT lets you provide custom validation logic via refinement for advanced features like creating multiple issues and customizing error code. Super refine. Value, okay, something like that I need. So in the refine, I need my value to contain dot contains XXX. The format must contain XXX for the sequence number. But val is a string, so string.contains does not exist. Includes, right? Includes. Come on, includes. So if it does, or it should include, let's see. If I do save, the format must contain XXX for the sequence number. So if I do here ABC XXX, it's allowing. If I don't have them, it's not allowing me. If I go here and do new invoice, it's going to be ABC 101. Good. That's because what? Where is it taking the 101 from? Yeah, because the last one was 100. What happened with all my invoices, you know? Where is ABC? They're not saved? Something happened with my storage. Save. And if I reload the application and come here, it's not saved. Why is that? Maybe there is no space on the device. What do you think? Can that be the issue? Select. Let's delete. Select all. Delete. It's kind of not deleting. Hydration finished. Okay, now it saves. So I hope that the problem is actually not enough space on my device. Failed to generate PDF. Now what? Because an item with the same name already exists. That shouldn't happen. But let's go ahead here in the core features or fixes. Error handling for PDF generation. Example, file with the same name exists. Let me try to do the new invoice with 110 or 20. Back home, I have it here, 120. I can reload, come back, and it's still here. And I can go and generate. So a new one is going to be auto incremented. Back home. Okay. Something is working. Configure how your invoice numbers will look. Use x-axis for use Can I do that, or I need another text? And I can even take the form. Get how do you get watch the format field? And I could take that const examples equal. I'm going to generate invoice number. Example 1 is equal to generate invoice number format. Example 2 is like this. And example 3. And then we put them into example 1, example 2, and example 3. Examples. But not here, but here. Improve how we show these examples and explain briefly what this is. Let's not do this, let's just do like this. And if I change like this, okay, good. This is not gonna work because if I try to save the month, okay, X. Where are you taking them from? Examples. Let me just do I want to pick the invoice number. So last invoice, string or undefined, yeah. Oh, where is it coming from? ABC. XXX. It's not gonna do the second time. Why they keep piling up? Why they keep piling up there? Example map. Example. Now I just need, I think, index as the key here. Not to generate new invoice numbers there, just to replace the text. Will that work? 1, 2, 3. ENV. ENV. Come on. XXX. I think that's good. I think this preview is really nice. Do I need the background color? Gray 100. 200. Maybe white. Preview of next invoice numbers. Good. It's good. It's good. I think I like how it works right now. Inc 002. Okay. 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 So we have here, where? In the invoice number feature, we have data validation. Improve a UI, like I'm thinking about here, like the UI. Don't really like it. Maybe I should build some kind of a menu there. Something like here, look, we have different menus and one of them would be invoice number stuff. And I would even put like this business information somewhere else. But how much time do we have? We have a bit of time. Let me check if what's up with our application review. Hope maybe something happened there. Waiting for review. Still waiting for review. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring something, some water, and we continue. Oh. Hello. So, how is everyone else doing? Everyone good? Building as well? Look, I'm trying to figure out, not even sure, like a native iOS menu, like if I should rebuild it myself or maybe find something. Like let's say settings. Do you have settings here? Settings. So I think I would build something like this profile where one of the options would be edit information. Other option would be, how is it called? Invoice number format. So should I rebuild from scratch this, or is there anywhere I can find things like this? So for example, in my application tabs, the profile index is going to be completely different. this profile is going to be something else. So I'm going to do profile edit. This is going to be profile edit. But for index, let's do export default profile screen view. Display the name of the business at the top center of the screen, and below it render an iOS list items for links to edit profile, edit and invoice number. But this is not done. Continue in profile screen component. Okay, let's try to accept it, and then we're gonna see what we need there. So let's go back here. What do we have on profile? Come on. Oh, this one is not even there. Use an icon from expo vector icons. What's that? Not sure how helpful was that. Expo vector icons. Should I go with this kind of? Okay, coming here. So how do we get to this look? First of all, we need some spacings around the names and so on. What extension you use for AI generation? I'm using Cursor, which you can go to cursor.ai or com. And this is like a VS Code fork, like it's a separate application, but it's based on VS Code. So it looks and works like VS Code, but it has AI features in it. Anyway, here, what do I wanted here? Padding 4. Okay. Rounded LG. I think LG, and we needed the overflow hidden. Yep. Oh no. How was the... I know Catalin taught me something. Okay, doesn't not that important, so let's keep it like this. If now I go to edit business information, I go to here edit. Let's call this edit profile, and in the edit, what are we going to change? I don't think we need a lot here at the top, like my business and so on. Let's keep it simple, and we don't need this button at the end for invoice number format. Again, let's keep it simple. And it has the save at the top. At the bottom, we can still update it. For example, notjust.dev. I can save it, and when going back, oh, maybe on save I should go back, right? Router back. So if I do save, come on, edit business information, save. It doesn't get here, right? It has some errors. I think I deleted something that I was not supposed to delete. Maybe the ID. And it was not working all this time. Save. Still doesn't work. ID, name, address, tax ID. From this form, I can do console, log form state errors. So what's going on here? If I go here, save, message, required ref, undefined type. Message, required, ID required. But my profile doesn't have an ID? Yeah, I think my profile is old and doesn't have an ID, you know? That's not going to happen in future because later all profiles will have an ID. Edit business details. Yeah, it's empty. So this now is going to be or crypto as a crypto dot import random UUID. So in this case, even if for some reason there is no profile, the ID is going to be generated. Edit business details, save, it saves. And it gives a new ID to this profile. Reload. Good. Let's do here padding a 20. And I can go change invoice number format, ABC, save, good. Should this be profile or settings? Should I do here in this one? Instead of profile, okay, I think that's better. And let's actually call this one settings. Settings. Index settings. Cool. But I'm still trying to figure out like if there is a good out of a box library for this kind of menus, because I'm not very happy with what I have there. But not context menu, iOS list. Settings list. Published 7 years ago. Last version 7 years ago. React Native iOS settings. No, this is something else. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. 10 stars. Give me a second, I'm gonna look into some of my old projects where I might have used this. UI settings. Okay, think there is nothing good there. But visually, how do I achieve it? Think font size is larger. Let's go ahead there in the settings index for list item. Text, LG. Where is it? Text, XL. 2XL. Why it's not changing? Layout settings, what's going on? Invoices, settings. Profile. What's the profile? Where is it coming from? Where is this coming from? What kind of profile in the tabs? I don't have profile in the tabs. Index, invoices, contacts, settings. No. npm start dash clear. Okay, now it works correctly. This text size is too large. LG, that's better. Now, if we look here, should we do some icons there? I would add a label at the other side. Label right, and it's going to be equal to empty string. And let's render it here. For example, here, invoice number, I want to say that the label right is going to be these two are going to be grouped together. Justify between. And this one is going to be text gray. Invoice number format. Should I do it like this? Yeah. Whew, okay. I would also add this kind of labels at the top. So add group subtitle or group title. And it will have also some kind of margin left 4 to start from the same part. Well, not 44, just 4. As you can see here. Text, is it text small? Probably it's text base. Without font medium. All caps. Maybe. We're a bit taller, right? So I will do px, py, also 4, like this. Okay. What? Settings, edit. Why you don't like it? I don't know. Another thing that I would do here is add some other options. For example, I would add something here. I don't know what to write there, but I would do a list item with review up or something like that, which would call the same function that we call, I don't know where, but I have it in utils. Review, ask for review. We have here request, review, or feedback. Look what we're gonna need. This one is only called once, right? Let's call this one request reviewer feedback if needed. And in the success, call this one. Only do that if needed. Because I want to have another function here called request for feedback. And I will move this part of the alert here and call request reviewer feedback. And this one I will put here. So this one, if needed, will check if it can ask or not. But this one can be invoked at any moment in time. So on the settings, I can do here, use reviews, import, and call directly the function when the user wants. So if I go here and do review application, how is your experience? No, not now. Not now, maybe not really send feedback. Okay. Let's do another one called send feedback. In the send feedback, what's happening there? When you press yes, it's going to be linking. Okay. I maybe can export the same function here. Ask for feedback. And I will call it here, ask for feedback. Send feedback, hopefully it's going to do that. Good. I don't know what to write there, but yeah, something like support. Oh, and this one should be a scroll view. Yep. Or maybe the scroll view should be above. This one a view, and above it till the end. And I don't think it needs the gap and padding here. So if I go here, okay, settings, I can scroll, good. And I would probably also like to have here at the bottom maybe here at the bottom, why it doesn't update. The version of application. Provides useful information about the native application itself, such as the ID, app name, and build version. If your application ID, the ID of application one, the bundle ID. Version. In this one. Native build version. Then let's go ahead and install this one in our project. And we are going to import it on the settings screen. And we're gonna render both the user-facing version of the application native application version. And the native build version. don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, because we need to it installed and I need to do npx expo pre-build. And npx expo run iOS. Let's see. Distribution. Waiting for review. For invoice number input, okay, good. Suggest, maybe later, suggest pre-made formats. And this one is good. Let's go at the top. This one. Maybe something that we still have to work on. Let's look at the schema invoice. ID, name, address. Address. Should we be able to split it into multiple fields? Let me look into my Invoice Generator application. How is it called? Sorry. Look, this is, oh no. 1 second, I'm gonna do it again. Contacts. So this is the new contact form for the project, for the application that I am using. First name, last name, contact email, good. Yeah, company name, department name. I don't know if I need department name, address line 1, address. For the address, like this is something that I probably need to look into, because my address is just one line. But address is something that is quite important for invoices, right? So what's going on here? What's going on? React Native context menu? Come on. Pre-build clean. Run iOS. So, from my schema, as I was saying, I think I need to improve the address first and foremost. Address, where is it? Let's work on fields. To do address, and address needs line 1, line 2, it needs line 1, line 2, city, state, zip code, city, state, zip code, city, state, zip code, country, and country. Now, do we need to separate them, or do we just allow them to write everything as we want? What is the benefit of adding multiple fields compared to one address field where the person can write everything that we want? And maybe we can add a possibility to do new lines, and you adjust it the way you want it. I think that would be better. I don't want to get into it. It adds a lot of complexity that's not really necessary, because at the moment it would be valuable if you'd have something like, give me all filters, like give me all invoices for USA, or give me all invoices for that. But we don't have these things. So I think I will leave as we have right now one address line, and there maybe I'm gonna make it like a text input with larger fields, and there you put like enter, you write everything the way you wish it to look on the invoice. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything here, to be honest. Use one field and let users write the address they need. That's it. So let's not do anything here. Just making it multi-line will be enough. I don't need a website. Where is it? I don't need phone, maybe. The email might be helpful for future notes. No, I think I'll just leave it like this. I'll leave it simple. They don't have a tax ID. What happened here? After installing, what did I just install? Expo application, right? What just happened here? I just added Expo application and it happened. I'm just gonna comment out this thing for a second and I'm gonna try to do node modules. Yeah, something not adding up. Auto suggestion in terminal, that's something around ZSH. Auto suggestion, auto complete. I don't know, guys, like I set it up once and maybe this one. I don't know. So npm run iOS npx expo run iOS. All right, so back to my thinking like about additional fields. As I said, like address, I'm gonna keep it like this. Phone, anything else? I don't think I need. Configure tax on the invoice. Maybe the tax should be configurable there. Auto increment invoice numbers is kind of done for now. Come on. Siddharam, I think YouTube is hiding the emails because I didn't receive your email in the chat. I'll have to check the Discord, so maybe on Discord you shared. But I'm going to be able to add you as soon as possible, and thank you very much for requesting. Like, let me see. Hopefully, it's going to be reviewed very soon, and I'll be able to actually share like the test flight link. I'm gonna bring some water. I ran out of it. Hello, Franz. Thank you very much. Nope. Come on. Look who is here. Denchik, come. Denchik. Come. Let's go. You are fluffy. He didn't want to come. Come on. Now if I reload. Same problem, context menu view. Tabs, contacts, is missing the required default export. Tabs, context in tabs, contacts, index, export default function. Cannot find RNA. What has happened here? Deleting the application from simulator. That's taking a bit of time. And I don't think we have a lot of more time to spend today because we have 10 more minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to build it and prepare a new update. And I think this is wrapping up our first application. So that was a journey. Like, we managed to build a fully working application in 1 week. It might not be one of the most complex application, but at least it's an application that solves one need. At least I'm going to use it. I'm going to try to use it with my team, get feedback from them. And here we have it. Actually, it's working. So we can go ahead and get started. We can set up our profile like notjust.dev. As I was saying, let's if we are here, let's actually build it to do this together. For example, in the onboarding profile for address multi-line, let's do number of lines 3. How do you do minimum height? Should I do it through class name, age 8? Will that change? Yes, it changes. So I can do minimum age 20 or 30 or 28. Okay, so that's going to be the address. Larger input field where I can write here, let's say, I don't know, Sagrada Spain. Maybe our custom text inputs. Let's see, custom text input. I want to add some more spacing around it. And maybe it should also do text LG to make it larger. Or it doesn't need to be that. And I think it's leading, which is the spacing between it, but maybe not. Leading loose. Yes. Leading tight. Okay. Leading relaxed. Okay, that's better. So without this, the lines are very close to each other. With this, they are a bit more spaced apart. I don't really like how it works here at the top. You know what I mean? Let's add leading title only if it's multi-line. Let's do no. Let's do here leading. Relax, did I say? Only when it's multi-line. Okay. Okay, that's good. Why it's not changing here? Hmm, 26, 28 for 3 lines. So, Spain. Tax ID. Maybe I should do here optional. Let's do add subtitle with more context. This info will be used for on invoices. Should I have it? Maybe not. Okay, save. Okay, now we are on the home screen. We don't have new invoices, we have no contacts. I would merge how this no looks. So in the tabs, we have contacts, and in contacts, I really like how it was looking. And I'm gonna do the same for invoices. I'm gonna put it here. No invoices yet. Create your first invoice to get started. Like this. So this one and this one looks the same. Almost. Here we have P4 in the contacts. We have P2. P4. New invoice. Invoice 001. Date. Okay, next. New contact. Acme Corp. address here as well in the, as I had here in the profile with multi-line. When I'm doing invoices, generate contact, where I ask for address, where do I ask for address? New contact. Instead of multi-line, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so the address is, I don't know, ABC Street 2, New York, USA, and maybe something more. Tax ID, USA. Next. All good. Generate invoice. Boom. Share invoice. Markup. And I think everything looks good here. Maybe on the invoice it should be the address, like in the fixes I'm going to put to do. Keep the new lines in the address field on the generated PDF because it was not kept. Done. How's your experience? Not really. Send feedback. Not now. Back home. Perfect. Now we have one invoice, 001, and one contact. Perfect. Amazing. Here we have an invoice number format. We have business data that we can update. For example, removing the R here. Save. Maybe even, yeah, this one. Save. Yes, everything works. And I can go ahead and generate a new one. Invoice number automatically filled in. This one I can take. Second invoice, back home, and it is here. Perfect. So that's what we managed to build so far. Let me go ahead and do a git add, git commit -m. I don't remember like what exactly we did here. Settings screen, more settings screen, more of a settings screen. Let's go ahead and do git push origin main. And with that, we are done. All right, guys. So, I want to say thank you for joining me on this journey, and I want to congratulate everyone else who has progress with your applications, everyone who is joining Not Just Hack. Just a quick reminder, Not Just Hack is our 1 month long online hackathon for mobile developers happening this December. And all you have to do to participate is to build an application yourself. You just need to build one application and launch it to the market, to App Store or Play Store. I'd encourage you to start with the application process as soon as possible because that takes time. And you have to submit your entry to our hackathon by December 31st. The submission process is not open yet, but we're going to open it soon and we're going to let you know. And the best projects will have a chance to win these prizes. More information at notjusthack.com. And while you're there, make sure to sign up to be informed. My plan for this process is to build 4 applications in 4 weeks, and I'm happy to say that the first one is finished. I'm just gonna have to go and continue the process of submitting it to the store because it's not ready yet. I'm still waiting for a review from Apple, and once that is done, it's going to be available for download. So if you're a person who usually generates invoices, if you're a freelancer, contractor, a small business owner, make sure to find the application online. We're going to try to leave some links there, and I'd be very happy to hear your feedback on using this. Anyway, make sure to subscribe to our channel to follow me build more projects because this is just the beginning. On Monday, we are starting a new project. And if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe not to miss the video out. And don't forget, if you're interested in mastering React Native and Expo and being able to build confidently any mobile applications with these tools, make sure to check out React Native Mastery. We launched it previous week. It's brand new. It's amazing. People love it so far. And you can enroll now with a discount at notjust.dev/React Native Mastery. And yeah, I'm gonna see you there. All right, thank you very much. Have a great weekend ahead, guys. Let's stay connected on Discord, and good luck with your applications. As I always said, like, make sure to get something out as soon as possible, and then you can work on improving it. And I cannot wait to see what you guys are going to build. Anyway, have a great weekend or day ahead, and I'll see you later. I'll see you next